Okay, fantastic. So, hi everyone. I'm really happy to be here for this Unlock the Fresk session. I'm going to share today about our journey at Haleon, and first I want to share about what Haleon is, because I'm sure that pretty much everyone in this call has no idea what this company is about. So I just wanted to share a bit for context. So Haleon is a consumer healthcare company. And we were born 3 years ago from the spin-off with GSK Consumer Healthcare. And we are operating in various consumer healthcare categories. So you can see oral health, vitamin, mineral supplements, but also pain relief, respiratory health, digestive health. And the latter three are what we usually call OTC, so over-the-counter products. And these are for these categories that I am responsible for responsible business, sustainability matters. Because as I mentioned, we were born 3 years ago, so the name Haleon is not so well known, but maybe you know some of the products, so including some that are here on the picture. So we are the manufacturer of Panadol, Voltaren, Neocitran, which is called Theraflu in other countries, but a product that is also very well known in Switzerland, also the brand Otrivin. And this is what the company purpose is about. So we exist to deliver better everyday health with humanity. And the reason why this is important for us when we talk about sustainability is that what we see is better everyday health should be within reach for everyone, but it isn't, because there are some social and environmental barriers which hold people back from better everyday health. So there are lots of things that make that people are experiencing barriers to healthcare. So we see here 60% of people globally have experienced barrier to healthcare, either barrier to access or barriers because they just don't understand how to take care of themselves, how to use the products. Or also sometimes barriers due to, for example, their race. We see that Black Americans in the US feel very much that because of their race, they are very much excluded from some elements of the healthcare system, and their pain is not taken care of properly. So we have a lot of social barriers that are really going in the way of better everyday health, and also lots of environmental barriers. Climate change being a key one, of course, and stated by the World Health Organization as the biggest health threat facing humanity. And there are also additional environmental challenges that go in the way of better everyday health. On the other hand, of course, people expect businesses to do the right thing. It's more and more important for people that the products they use, the brands they use, are going in the right direction when it comes to sustainability. So that led us to our responsible business strategy, which is articulated across 3 pillars. One about making better everyday health more inclusive. The second one around reducing our environmental impact, and doing all this while upholding robust standards across all our value chain. So these were just some intro slides so you understand a bit better about what Haleon is, and then you understand also better why we brought the Fresk to the company, and what we are trying to achieve and what we achieved eventually. So, Climate Fresk. 3 years ago, when I took on the role, I was trying to think about the employee capability and engagement plan, because it's great to have lots of strategy on papers, but what's really important is that you have the organization behind this strategy to ultimately execute and drive the change. And I really tried to think about a capability and engagement plan that will be articulated across 3 elements that people with their rational side say, like, I need to do it because I have external goals from my company, because if I don't do it, I risk some business, I'm not going to be resilient, and so on. But also that they want to. So really talking more to their heart, to the humans in the organization, and really ensuring that people feel engaged because it's really the right thing to do. And eventually also equip people with how to do it. So these were really the 3 angles that I tried to activate around the capability plan. And that's why I thought about the Climate Fresk. So why the Climate Fresk? First, because I had personally a wonderful experience with the Climate Fresk. So I did it as a citizen. And for me, there was a before and an after. I think I learned a lot. I learned a lot. I thought I knew a lot, and I realized I didn't know so much. I felt even more motivated after that. I really wanted to work in sustainability to drive the change in organizations. And I felt like if this is really bringing a wow to me, it probably can bring a wow to people also internally. I felt it was a powerful way to raise this collective awareness behind the climate change and urgency and the need to act now at individual and company levels. I love the fact that Climate Fresk can, of course, help support the company sustainability journey, but also that every employee are, first of all, human beings, and that everything they will learn in the Fresk is also a way for them to bring more sustainable behaviors in their everyday life and talk to people around them, etc. It was also a way to build deep dive understanding on climate change and all the carbon emission levels. I mean, we have a carbon reduction roadmap in the company. If people don't understand really what we are talking about, what we want to do and why we want to do it, it's more complicated to engage everyone behind. And I believe that the Climate Fresk is a powerful tool for people to better understand all these levers. The fourth is to build a strong group of grassroots advocates across the business. I really saw the magic of the Fresk operating on a lot of people, and you have a lot of people afterwards who really act as advocates for sustainability within their teams, their projects, whatever is their sphere of influence. But it can really change people from, maybe just being interested about the topic of sustainability to really wanting to become drivers of change. And we all know that this is absolutely critical to drive the sustainability agenda within companies. And the last one, I think is important because this can also be a strong angle to leverage internally to say why you want to do that, is that it can also be a way to show the company commitment to sustainability, to responsible business. It can be shared, like there are things you can do on LinkedIn, there are things that can be also shared as annual report. And it's really important for companies to also see really what's in it for them. And on top of the employee engagement, this can be something that can be leveraged. So now I want to go more into the details about how we brought the Climate Fresk to life. So we had essentially 3 phases that went, I articulate that across 3 years. So the launch, the rollout, and then how we are sustaining and expanding. So starting with the launch, as I said, I was really a fan of the Fresk. I said I would like to pilot it. I said, okay, let's try it. So I contacted the Climate Fresk organization. They gave me a contact in Geneva to support this effort, so to find some facilitators. And we had our first pilot workshop. So I chose at the time, we are organized, we have various functions, but we are also organized by brands. I said, okay, I would take a brand team. So I will have a representation across various functions. So commercial, marketing, R&D, supply chain, and see, how this can resonate. And we were supported by a company called Orbisfy. And we had 2 facilitators coming, for those who know them, Julien Zori and Marina Protopopov, who I saw the name in the call. Hi, Marina. And so the pilot was really successful. You can see here the scores. So that's also something I encourage you to do, is send some surveys after the session so you can record the results. I can tell you, since day one, I only got good results. We only got good results with the Fresk. People love it. And it really shows that it is something super positive and beneficial to them. What was also interesting in this first workshop is that we had very good scores, but I was also asking questions across various sub-elements. And where we felt the score was not so high was in it's useful to drive sustainability in your job or workplace. So we said, okay, we need to see how we can strengthen more the actionability part when it comes to the job and the workplace. So we ran a second pilot. Usually you just have one pilot, but here people felt it was better to have a second pilot to be very short. So we ran a second pilot. We had some changes in the agenda to strengthen the workplace actionability while still maintaining very high, very good balance and very high scores. And you can see here in the scores that it was really a success. So I would say overall we had, I would say 30 people per pilot. So by this time, we had already trained around 50, 60 people and really getting super good results. And these were also people who started to talk to their colleagues and said, wow, I had an amazing workshop. I really hope that you have the opportunity to do it at some point. So then we expanded the workshop, so still with the support of Julien and Marina so externally with external facilitators. And by the end of 2023, we had nearly 100 people trained. Worth mentioning that we are based in Lyon. In Lyon, we have around 1,000 employees. And I'm responsible for the OTC category. So we have around 200 people from the OTC category in Lyon, and then other people around the world. But so already by the end of 2023, we had 100 people trained. Phase 2. So then we said, okay, what's next? We really wanted to roll out. We wanted more people to have the opportunity to do this workshop. So we trained internal freskers. And honestly, it was not hard at all to find volunteers to become internal freskers. Those people that you see on the screen were all people who participated themselves to Climate Fresk internally, who said, this is fantastic, this is amazing, we need to bring it to more people. So I came to them and said, hey, thinking about doing a program to have internal freskers, would you like to be in? And all of them were super enthusiastic. Also worth mentioning that all of those people you see here are really coming from various functions. So you have people who are scientists, some who are more commercial. You don't need to have a specific background or specific knowledge from the start to be able to become a fresker. You just need to really be passionate about that and really wanting to bring this workshop, this fantastic workshop, to more people internally. So we had 10 people with some changes here and there, people moving location or leaving the company. We are now with 7 internal trainers, which I think is a good number, and we are managing to have like a good reach already. The phase 2 is, so for this one, sorry, I forgot to mention that here you of course need to get the support from external Climate Fresk trainers. In our case, it was again Marina Protopopov. So we had 2 half-a-day sessions, and the most important is that after you are certified trainer, you need to go for it. And the thing is, at first you're like, am I good enough? Is it going to be okay? What's really important is very shortly after the training is completed that you set up some sessions and you go for it. So that's what we did. We set up various sessions really fast after completing our training. And what we did to feel more comfortable is first we said, okay, let's be 2 freskers for 1 table. So if one doesn't know how to answer or doesn't feel comfortable, then he knows that the other one is there to support. And this is something that I felt worked quite well. And where, ultimately when people felt ready, then it was 1 fresker for 1 table, up to 1 fresker for 2 tables when the people felt comfortable. We also, for some sessions, got the support from Marina to be there as a coach, which was, I would say, it was reassuring just to know that she was there and that, that we could not fail, let's say. Ultimately, it's not that she really made a lot of interventions during the call, but I think getting an external coach for 1 or 2 sessions at the beginning can be also beneficial to dare to dive in and go for it. And so with this phase 2, we did a rollout. So by the end of 2024, we had nearly 250 people trained. So still mostly in Lyon, and touching a lot of people in the organization. And now phase 3, sustain and expand. So what is really important is, after you've reached already a lot of people in the organization. So if I think about our category, so over-the-counter products, we have already, I think, touched like 2 people out of 3, which is a lot. So then you need to think about what's next. So of course, you need to continue run sessions and keep a regular drumbeat, because you will always have new people. You have like turnover and changes within the teams, and so it's important that for newcomers you can still offer the sessions. And also recommend that there are some regular meetings with the internal freskers to maintain the momentum, maintain motivation, and really, see what's working in our organization, what could be improved, and keep it going over time. Another element that we worked on top of sustaining, was to see how we could further expand. Because we have a lot of people in our over-the-counter category who are not based in Switzerland, we thought about bringing in the online version of the Fresk so we could touch more people. So that's what we did. It was not all 7 of us becoming I would say, like online facilitators, but I think we are 4 in the team who know how to provide the session also online. And this is helpful because we have some people who are never going to come, or very rarely going to come to our new office. And this is a way to touch them. It's also interesting to touch people in various locations and get really various perspectives. Then expand to other locations. It's also like I was really trying to think about how can we drive the magic of the Fresk even beyond in the organization. And we have our global headquarters in the UK, in London. We also have we have our central sustainability team in London. We have our oral health category teams in London. So during one of my business trips, I said, okay, I'm going to stay longer and I'm going to offer and propose some sessions, which I did. And they received, again, very, very positive feedback. People were extremely happy. I remember one people in one of those sessions saying, this is something that every single person at Haleon should attend. And so it was great to see that, it's not just something in Switzerland, but it can really appeal to a lot of people across various countries and different cultures. And I'm working right now with one of my UK colleagues to see how they could bring the freskers in the UK, so they also have the capability then to do a rollout in the UK. A last bit I wanted to share is also some ideas about how to further expand to continue and sustain the momentum behind the Fresk, because people will do the Fresk once and then, what's next? Here is an example of what I did, and I hope that it can inspire some ideas about what you can do in your organization. We are a health organization, and if you look about at the Fresk, we see that in one of the cards, one of the key consequences is the impact on human health. But it is just one card. So what I did is I really wanted to bring to life in a much more granular way what could be all the various health impacts of climate change to human health. So I created something in the form of a quiz. So like it was here a physical quiz. I stole with pride the idea of the Climate Fresk quiz. So I know that this is a light version that exists. And I said, okay, how can I do that and bring to life the idea of the health impact that climate change has? So this is something I created that I shared at some internal events, and that we also offer now as a tool for people who want to deep dive even further into the impact of climate change. So where are we now? So now we are at around 350 people trained to date. You see all our journey. What we are currently working on is really, so I'm trying to drive the expansion in the UK with Train the Trainer program in the UK. But also, continue proposing the Climate Fresk for people and people who have not done it and newcomers, but also propose the climate change and health quiz as a kind of addition to get deeper into the health impact of climate change. We are getting still very high scores. I think it's important to say that in terms of scores, we are getting similar scores and sometimes even better scores now that we are doing the internal trainer program. So even though you may think, okay, this is coming from people who are less experienced and less experts about climate change, I think the fact that we know very well our organization, this brings some additional elements and benefits that make that overall the session are very much liked. So also one element, if you're considering training internal trainers, don't think that you will provide less good quality of workshops. You continue providing great quality of workshops, and you can bring on top this company specific spin. Some participant quotes. Honestly, I got so many orally, in written. I just wanted to share those because I think they are quite eloquent. One from one of our global brand lead. So one of our, one person who is sitting in our lead team. Amazing workshop. I know I speak on behalf of my team by saying that we left the day feel passionate and inspired by what we heard. We feel so much more educated on the topic, and most importantly, we all feel energized to take climate change more seriously in our brand work and personal lives. And I can tell you that this person was really, there was a shift from before and after. And this person who is sitting in the lead team is now really a sustainability advocate. Also one from the site director. So we have a manufacturing site in Lyon. So this person is leading a team of 600 people. And he said, the workshop helped me to understand the full dimension of the impact of climate change and how I can help at a personal and organizational level. I'm grateful for the deep knowledge and passion of the facilitators. Also some other feedback. So from Consumer Insights, person from Consumer Insights team, I really enjoyed the workshop. It's one of the most useful sessions I've ever been in Haleon. And one from our one of our R&D lead, an amazing workshop teaching the fundamental science behind climate change, the true story behind the numbers. You understand the scale, feel connected and responsible to take action in your day, today and at work. So what I think is important is it's feedback from people across various levels, various functions, people who are maybe more scientists in their mind, some less. But what you can see is that the Climate Fresk really has the ability in the workplace to appeal to so many profiles. And that's my last slide. I tried to think about a bunch of tips that will be useful for anyone who would want to bring the Climate Fresk in their organization. The first one is go for it. Try it, pilot it, and don't ask for permission. This is what I did. I mean, I was just thinking, okay, what's the risk? Ultimately, setting up a pilot is not going to be something expensive. I would say the most complicated is that it's taking time. So you will need to block people for 3.5 hours to 4 hours. This is just like time commitment. But ultimately, you will also have people afterwards who will be happy and say like it was really a good investment of my time. So my advice is go for it, try it, and don't ask for permission at all. The second is publicize the positive scores and participants' feedback, especially from senior management, because then this is a bit of the snowball effect. So people hear about it, people hear that someone else felt it was really great. They talk, in various meetings, the Climate Fresk was mentioned. And it really creates this positive cycle, and more and more people want to participate. You even have some people who can have a bit of a FOMO. Oh my God, I want to participate. When is the next session? My advice is also to make it mandatory to participate, because it's quite long in terms of time investment. It's half a day. The reality is, if people think it's just a nice to have, they may not join. So I must say that I personally decided it was mandatory. No one contradicted me. So in the end, it was a mandatory workshop. And I think that's how I got some people to participate. Again, in the end, a lot of people who maybe at first said, oh my God, half a day, it's what is this? Am I going to waste my time? Ultimately, they said, thank you. It was really great time invested. Fourth point is train internal freskers, because this is really the way to do a big rollout in the organization, and really stand even more behind the workshop. And when you do that, they dive ASAP into the doing. So don't wait too long after the training to try it, and just get into it. And the last bit is also think one step ahead. What's next? You will need to ensure that you sustain the momentum. So once everyone has been trained to the Fresk, what's next? So, I mean, I gave here some examples about how we did it on our side. So trying to ignite passion in other locations. So trying to bring in online version to touch more people. Also this climate change and health quiz. I would say, what is it that can really make sense for your organization to sustain the momentum and keep energy and curiosity behind the topic in a way that really makes sense to your organization? So this is it. I think I'm not too bad on times. So thank you very much. Thank you very much to the Climate Fresk team for everything you are doing in general and for this opportunity to also share our journey at Haleon. And now I will stop talking, and I'm very happy to take any question you may have.
Amazed how you got so many people of your company into this climate fresking, which is fantastic. You showed us that at first the evaluations showed that people wanted to have more use for their professional work, everyday work. So, and then you modified that. So for me, it would be interesting, what in detail was it that you changed at that point to make it more useful for people?
Yes, sure. So first of all, the way we articulate the session is, of course, there is the first section, which is building the fresks. Then you have the emotion, and then so the drawing part. Then you have the emotion, and then we have a session where we are sharing a few elements before we go into the ideation mode. So this part here, where we are using slides, we try to use this as an opportunity to also bring more of the carbon reduction strategy of the company. So to put that in context and link with what the people learned, give some figures, try and equip people also with, for example, where does the carbon footprint sit mostly across some of our key products, looking at, various types of products and formats. And so that's the first bit, is really trying to use this section here to bring more of the workplace and the company and, carbon footprint of the company and carbon reduction roadmap. And also in the ideation, to ensure that we have good enough time spent on ideation in the workplace. So what are the ideas that can be brought in the workplace? Both like on our site in Lyon, but also ideation that people can bring on their everyday job, and that we take time to discuss and exchange about those ideas. I think the first pilot we had was a bit rushed, and we took a lot of time to build the fresk, and everything took a lot of time. We didn't have sufficient time, I think, for the ideation bit in the workplace. And that's what we also changed in our second pilot, and that proved to really be a good idea. And people felt like it was more concrete and actionable.
Maybe you can choose which one resonates with you.
Oh, wow. Examples of carbon reduction actions triggered by Climate Fresk. Yes, I have there are a lot actually. So one of them is, it's not yet done, but we are working on an idea that came during the workshop, is also on how to reduce the carbon footprint linked to the products, the products that are destroyed. So in OTC medicinal products, when our products are entering a certain shelf life, so quite low in shelf life, they are no more suitable for commercialization, and so they are destroyed, unfortunately. And so the point here was, how can we find another outlet for these products? This is something we are about to pilot, so I'm really excited about that, which is about how to repurpose those products for donation. It's something that is taking time because when you're working on regulated products like OTC medicines, you need to respect a lot of standards. So it took some time to find right partners, but we seem to have found good partners for that, and that's something that really came from this workshop. That's the one I have top of mind. But yes. I know that there were so many other ideas that came through. So I just check. So what are the needs you see to make the Climate Fresk even more impactful? I don't think that the Climate Fresk needs to be more impactful. I think the Climate Fresk is such a powerful tool that it is impactful per se. I think what you need is to have passionate facilitators. You need to have passionate facilitators, and I think that to make it impactful in the enterprise, you need to somehow link it back to the company and to what people do. You need to, again, taking the example of Haleon, trying to bring a bit more insights for people in the room around those health impacts of climate change. And that's something that resonated a lot. So I would say, take the Climate Fresk as it is, ensure that you have sufficient time dedicated to the ideation part in the workplace. Try and see where it makes sense to bring it, like really relevant links to your company, and maybe deep dive into some specific elements and topics, and have a team of passionate facilitators. Check if I see.
We have Xavier who raised his hand.
Yes.
Xavier, do you want to say something? Because it was your question Sophie was answering.
Yes, thank you. Maybe first introduce myself. I'm a board member of the Climate Fresk Association, and the reason I attend is we're obviously always very interested in seeing how the Fresk is deployed, and hence also my question on how can we make things better. It's what you've done with this, what we call in the meantime the first generation of the Climate Fresk, adapting it more to your business, is something you probably will like, as you will discover the new organization version of 2G, which is entirely made on that. Yeah, and okay. I think in your field of activity, human health, which is so important, you will also like that we're now focusing on adaptation. Yeah. So I certainly invite you with your with Marina and the other people from the Climate Fresk you work on discovering, because the debrief is also something which I think you would like, is really working on what can we do as a team. As you said, how can I in my job make a difference? Mm. And congratulations on what you've done so far.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you. No, and great to know that there are some improvements planned. Yes, thank you.
Well, they are already there.
Ah, great!
It's already available.
I was in the second generation, but it was not for enterprise. So
the company version has been released as we speak, actually last week, but the whole communication still needs to follow. So
okay, well, I can't wait to see it and implement it at Haleon.
Comments of participants in the beta version. I was in the team that co-created it. It's 10 times better as the first generation. So wow, setting expectations.
Fantastic. Good.
And thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I see a question from, I see the questions I have in the chat. I just see like a question from Marco. Fantastic results. What happens with the many suggestions that the participants suggested? So every time we have a session, what we do is, so people are putting their ideas on post-its. And then after the workshop, all the ideas are consolidated into like, a document. The reality is the more you go, the more I would say like 80% are either ideas that were shared before or ideas that are already part of our roadmap. But you always have like some new ideas. So the ideas that are not that are not from the list, that are not already in plan, then we have some next steps to connect with the right people to see if they could be activated. Like yeah. So that's something we do to really ensure that no idea is lost. I see a hand raised. Antoine?
Yeah, thank you very much. It's amazing to see all that and your energy. So congrats for that. And I was curious because now you talked about building this team of very passionate facilitators. And that's something that many of us try to do, like building communities, whether volunteer communities or internal communities. So I was wondering, how did you nurture this community beyond like just facilitating? Like, do you have anything else that you can advise on how to keep them engaged and willing to continue also bringing new participants and also evolving their own journey? And did you connect them in some way to other sustainability actions? That's one side question.
Yeah. So I would say like so in our community of freskers, so we stayed very close with Marina Protopopov, and through Marina we are. She's always coming with really great idea of engagement, either events or even like some, workshops to, come up with new ideas, new angles. I mean, we had, for example, we were trained for the biodiversity collage workshop over the summer. So trying to think about it is really rich and it's bringing us new ideas that then we think about how can we bring to the organization at, in which way and at which time. But that's also ways to stay connected outside of just, deploying the fresk. It's those activities that make us feel very engaged into sustainability matters. And that's really important. I check if there. Yes. Oh, Marina. Hello.
Hello. Well done. And I'm super happy to hear, all the story, etc. And I'm curious now about whether you have now engaged with HR, and if you can tell us about, what are the means and tools and support you can gather from other teams in terms of roles and responsibilities, because it's not nothing all the time you're spending, all the energy, all the ideas, and not only you, but also the team. And how do you make sure that this falls into what you're doing? You're not getting burnt. And this is like, a really strong wave that is touching everyone's at Haleon.
Yeah, so it's not like we have really engaged with HR on something specific here. What I would say is, me being like having sustainability in my job description, I would say it's totally inherent part of my role. For some people who are not working on sustainability specific jobs, this is something that they are working to put in their annual objectives. So it is indeed really important that it is seen, it is recognized as an effort to ultimately grow the capability and the engagement in the company. So it's I would say in that way the objectives system that we have annually is quite well designed for us to include in Climate Fresk and Climate Fresk facilitation in when needed.
Yeah, and I think you also mentioned earlier, if I'm correct, that there are some objectives that are mentioned into the leadership team's objectives, right?
Yes. So Climate Fresk is not mentioned in the leadership team objectives. It's not one of them. We have sustainability objectives which are included in. And I present Climate Fresk as an enabler to deliver against our objectives. And this is why it's also internally well perceived.
Wow. Thank you again, and thank you all for your question. We arrived to the end of this Unlock the Fresk series. Big thank again to Sophie for your presentation and your enthusiasm. And we're looking forward to see you all for the next session.